Making a video. I'm making a video and I want to add music. So here's how I recommend you do it. You want to go to studio.youtube.com. Now there are a lot of other places that have music royalty free that they share. This one is my default because I know I can get stuff where I don't have to track who it came from, and I know I can download it without having to figure out how. I don't have to look too much in depth at the copyright credits. So this is what I'm going to go to. You have to have a channel to go to YouTube Audio Library. So I currently don't on this account. I'm going to click Create Channel. And it says, welcome to YouTube Studio. Okay, so I am looking for their audio library, which is a place where you can, on the panel over here, you can see it says Audio Library. Here is where they have a bunch of music that you can use. And you can search by genre, mood, artist name, duration, and attribution required or attribution not required. Well, since I'm producing this video, I'm going to put it straight on. I don't care whether attribution is required or not. I could go, let's see, my video is 3 minutes. So, well, 4 minutes. So I could search for a duration of 4 minutes. However, there's a change in mood in my video when I go from talking to my kids to talking about me. So I probably want the first set of music to be a minute, and then, well, 2 minutes, and the last set to be 2 minutes. So I'm going to look for durations of 2 minutes so I could have a mood transition there. Duration. Really, they've changed this. I really don't care if it's longer than 2 minutes, but fine, we'll do that. Okay. And mood. I can have happy, dark, funky. Well, I'm going to do happy. I could do inspirational. I'll do dramatic on mine. Actually, I'll search them both all right now. Oh, it's only going to let me search one at a time. That's annoying. Okay. So I'm going to, now that I have my filters, listen to some of these. Nope. Okay. It's going to take a while to listen, so I'm going to pause so you don't have to sit through this. I'll show you when I find one what I'll do. One thing I forgot to mention before I paused is I'm speaking through the video. And if you're speaking through the video or you have voices that people need to hear and follow, you probably don't want voices in your music because that can be very distracting, or you want to use a part of the music with no voice. So I added instrumental into my search, and now I am just ready to, it says I may credit the artist. Okay, I'm going to download the one that I found that I like. This is the one for my kids. Now I'm going to change my mood. I'm going to go dramatic for me. So I'm going to search up something else and be right with you. Okay, I have my 2 songs. I've pressed download. I have checked the license types to make sure it doesn't need credit. And I see right here I have Addict and Dreaming On. Both of them are from Netflix. And I'm going to put that in my credits. So I'm going over to Premiere now. It's important to keep all your files together. So all this new stuff that I downloaded, it would be good to drag them into my folder with my project so that they stay with my project. I'm now going to drag these songs into my media bin. So I have to go away from effects and come back to my media bin and drag them in. And I can make it easy to find them because they're both MP3s. So I can use the search to find MP3s. Looking down here now, I'm working with audio, so I want to respace my timeline. I have 3 audio tracks I can work on, but you can always add more tracks. Sometimes they auto-add when you drag them on. Other times it's something else you just got to do. I could also just take these and just try to drag them up. It may change some of my effects transitions. It may overlap some of the audio, so you want to be careful doing that. I'm going to take this Dream On song, which I want under the kids section. And the main thing with audio I'm going to mute this right now by pressing M, is you want to make sure the music doesn't blast out the narration. So I'm playing this.
Good morning. I wanted to give you a report on the Voice City Run Fest. So I ran the 5K. Dad ran the...
Okay. I'm going to mute this track too because I got some background coming in that track. I may need to pull this track down a little bit. I'm playing it again.
Good morning.
Looking for where my levels go.
On the Voice City Run Fest. So
they're around -12, popping at -9. So I could actually take these up a little bit. So I'm going to highlight all of this track. And I'm going to scroll down to audio gain. 6 may be too much. I'm going to be daring though and just see. Adjust gain by 6 decibels. That should bring it up to -6, maybe peaking at -3.
Okay. Jav ran the fun run.
Okay. Now I'm going to open this track to make sure the second audio is not distracting against it. If you see red up here, it may be too loud and then it's going to have a distortion. So you want to watch out for that.
Good morning. I wanted to give you a report on the Voice City Run Fest. So I ran the 5K. Jav ran the fun run. And Sienna Pirate ran the fun run. I will say both my girls did.
So far, so good. Now I'm going to check the music. Actually, I'm going to mute both of these. Oops. And then check the music to see where it's coming because I'm going to need to drop it. They say you need to make sure the music is lower than your voice by 12 decibels at least. And remember, my voice was going up to 3. I'm seeing the music going up higher. So I'm just going to right click and I'm going to audio gain. I'm going to go ahead and drop it -12. And let's see how that sounds with my voice.
Good morning. I wanted to give you a report on the Voice City Run Fest. So I ran the 5K. Jav ran the fun run. And Sienna Pirate ran the fun run. I will say both my girls did great. So let me tell you about Jav first.
Okay. I'm going to show you a few modifications. I am yelling while I'm talking right here. I'm just going to lower this a little bit. So I'm lowering that whole clip a little bit so it's less distracting, and you can do that by dragging that middle line down. I want the music before I start talking, though, to be higher. So I'm going to come here, and I'm going to adjust this music track. Now, I need more space to see my audio, so I'm just going to move this video up here. And now I'm looking at my audio. I start talking about right here, so I just paused it, and I'm clicking on the audio. Notice we have keyframes here, just like you do up in Effect Controls. So I'm going to make a keyframe here because this is where I want the audio to change. I actually want it to drop to this level at this point. So now I'm going to move over a little bit over here and make another keyframe because that's where I'd like to move it up. And you never want the audio to be like straight up and down because then it's going to be an immediate drop and sound bad. So you always want it to be kind of like that. You can see I've raised it back 11 decibels down there. So it's back to its original peak. And I don't want it to fade too fast. So I may want more of a slouch like that. We'll have to see. We're going to listen.
Good morning. I wanted to give you a report on the...
Those girls singing in the background may be distracting while I'm talking. So I'm going to go ahead and add another right here to pull it down for those background singers who I don't want distracting from my message. And it may be one of those songs where I got to pull it down right here, pull it back up where the singers aren't singing. But hopefully they don't distract too much. And so when you do this, you need 2 keyframes. One keyframe says, keep it at this level. The next keyframe says, move it up to this level. So you're always doing pairs of 2 keyframes with your audio. So I got the starting keyframe going down to here. Stay here because you don't want a constant fade of your audio throughout. So now let's listen.
Good morning. I wanted to give you a report on the Voice City Run Fest. So I ran...
Oh, there they go again. So instead of just making another set of 2 keyframes, I'm just going to move this one over here, and I'm going to move this one over here. There.
The 5K. Jav ran the fun run, and Sienna Pirate ran the fun run. And I will say both my girls did great. So let me tell you about Jav first. I decided to try to stay up with her. So
Uh-oh, there's that I'm going to have to edit out that That's an A-roll edit right here.
First.
Cut. and then I get B. And that just lets it all move up to where I have cut it. Okay.
Jeff first. I decided to...
Oops, I didn't get in close enough. I'm zooming in a little bit closer. I need to get the cut of this audio thing. So you can see how you can see where the audio changes, and that helps you know where to edit. But you got to make your audio tracks big with these side zooms for that.
I decided to try to stay up with her so I could get some video of her.
Much better.
She started off one of the first.
And you want to listen throughout the whole thing to make sure the music's good. But I have another music I want to transition to. I want to show you the transitions. So let's get to that point. Okay, I think here may be where I want the music to change. So let's see.
I was very impressed. And it turns out she did the same in this one because she finished around 12.
Okay. That's just at the, which may be a good stopping point. And if that's the case, I can just take this. Oops, it's on ripple. I need to move it to the selection tool and drag it and let it stop at that note. If it's one solid note, good. But if it's a note and other notes are coming in, it's not going to make a good edit. So I'll have to show you how to fix that. Let's see. Yeah, it sounds cut off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my playhead right here because this is about where I want it to go into its last notes, right? And it seems like it might be a good spot for a change, but I'm going to go ahead and drag this back out to the full length of the music. This is a trick I learned in radio, and it makes sure your audio is good. I'm going to cut right here, and I'm changing back to the arrow to move all the way. We want this last note right here. So I'm actually going to move this track and make it a lot shorter. And you really want to find a spot in this music where it sounds similar to the spot in that music, so it's a good transition. You're going to go into effects over here and borrow like an audio transition, a crossfade of some sort. But let's see how this sounds without that.
Then it came to my race. I gotta tell you, don't underestimate.
Okay, I see a change in the music right here. So what if we moved up to this point and then moved this? Any big dips in the music are usually where music changes, because I'm trying to have this timeout right where this video ends, because that's where the transition should be in the music. Okay, I can move this a little this way or that a little that way. May not be a good point right here, so let's try it this way. I'm just judging by the change in the audio levels. If there looks to be a big change, then that's probably a spot where the music changes. And, oh, that's video. Coming over here, any of the three of these may work. I'm just going to put that on there, and it just lets the audio cross over each other so it blends a little bit better. That sounds pretty good to me. And now I have a solid ending to my audio.
Then it came to my race.
Now, I need to bring in the other audio thing. So I'm coming over here and getting this song. And I got to do the same thing I did before. Try to lower the audio levels. Now, I know I probably want to lower them 12, but I'm going to mute, see where they are. Yep, so negative 12 at least. Right click audio gain, negative 12. Okay. That brings them down quite a bit. And let's see how this sounds. You always go back to where the last music ended and this music begins. Make sure it sounds okay. Oh, I've muted my voices, so now I can't hear how it goes. So I need to unmute these, and now let's hear it with the voices.
Then it came to my race. I gotta tell you, don't underestimate the speed of the Royce City runners. I did. It was a small race, not many people there, so I started off near the front.
Okay. You'll want to check throughout, make sure there's nothing distracting, listen, make some changes, but I'm just going to assume it's all good. You can see there's a big change in the audio right there, big change in the audio right there, so I'm going to try to cut at one of these dips so that I can get the back to line up with my back. And so let's see, if I just cut out from that dip to that dip, will it fit okay? Almost does. So you learn to read audio levels a little bit, and it can help you with your edits, making them sound smooth. It may be good to have a little bit of audio after it ends, so I have room for the credits. So I'm going back to effects. I'm going back to constant gain, dropping that on there. I'm going to hear how it sounds.
Did some of my first 5Ks. I finished that. Great. Back to my performance.
Oh, gosh, I don't even like that part of the audio. It sounds bad. So I need to possibly change this. Do I even like the end? Yeah, the end is fine. Ugh, this may require more modification. So I certainly don't like that transition.
But
I'm not a fan of this hard rock sound. So let's see, can I borrow just the end and keep some of the beginning? What if I come to this dip? I went a little past it, but we're just gonna see. Does this part of the audio sound better?
when I look back at my previous race averages, I average around 937 now. So, I mean, Laura's telling me we don't run like we used to anymore. Maybe we'll get back to it. I know that a lot.
That's an okay transition. I hate this hard rock stuff. Let's see if I can just cut that out. I'm using C for cutting, V for the arrow. Do I like this?
Some of my first 5Ks, I finished that. Great.
Okay, so what if I take a copy of this right here? So let me show you how to do that. Because I kind of like that. I'm going to take from this. This is a change in the music. I'm going to C, cut it. And there's this cool function in Premiere where you can make a copy, V back to the arrow, I don't remember if it's Command or Option. I think it's Option. I'm going to have to move this out of the way. If I take this and hold Option and drag, I now immediately have a duplicate copy. So I'm going to take that. And people may, if they're paying attention to the music, they'll hear the music repeat, which could be annoying. But it's just something I'm trying out. Okay. And so I'm going to go ahead and add some constant gains on there. And then we'll see how that sounds. Because I think it's better than the end of the music.
I had been running to stay in shape, but I had not been training. Because look back at my previous runs, I ran some 2 miles to the fair, some 2 miles back to the car, and I had run.
Okay, sounds okay. Listen to this part.
My first 5Ks, I finished that. Great, back to my performance at the age of 22. Not my best.
Okay, maybe moving over here now.
We don't run like we used to anymore. Maybe we'll get back to it. I know that a lot of times
Hear the music changes. Now, is this too long at the end? Is the last question. I think it may be a little bit long, so why don't I just go ahead and try to trim this down a little bit. I'm going to have to add my fade back on, but let's see how that sounds. Okay. Nope, got to move a little bit over.
We don't run like we used to anymore. Maybe we'll get back to it. I know that a lot of times the 38th range is more.
Now they're singing, so that means I'm going to need to lower it more. In fact, I actually probably want to lower all of this rock stuff because I really don't like rock that much. I'm going to highlight it, audio gain. People can hear at least a 3 decibel change in audio. Since I have the crossfade, I don't need to worry about it being too dramatic, like a straight drop down. But I'm going to go -5 decibels to pull it down so it's a little less distracting. And anytime you make an edit, you want to check it.
Not been trained. Because look back at my previous runs, I ran some 2 miles to the fair, some 2 miles back to the car. And
I think that helps. And I'm going to come back here.
This race, and I'm excited about what they're going to do.
And really, at this point, I can bring the music up. So let me just show you how we would do that. You could cut it and adjust the audio gain, bring the music up. If you want to do that, it's going to be a distinct change in audio. So you need to add your effects in there so it transitions. But what I'm going to do is use keyframes for it. So sometimes you got to zoom a little bit more to the audio, and sometimes you got to actually make sure you've clicked on the audio tracker. It's not going to add your keyframes. Come on, keyframe guy. I'm trying to make more space for myself to work down here. It's being difficult. But let me just go ahead and tell you, I mean, I did it at the beginning of the video. If I were to add keyframes, I would click here, click that keyframe thing, leave it at that level, move over a little bit, add a keyframe, move that one up, and then make sure there's a slight slant in between. Since it's being irritable and not letting me click anything, I'm going to do it the first way I proposed, which is not my favorite way. I'm going to go ahead and cut right here. I'm going to go ahead and add a transition in here so the audio will fade, but it's just the computer's doing it rather than I am. And I'm going to bring this audio quite a bit up. Remember, I brought it down -12, and then I brought it down -5 beyond that. So I have up to 17 to bring it up. I'm going to be 15 just to be safe. Okay, and let's see how that sounds.
I'm going to do.
Yeah, pretty good fade. I like the ending. And the last thing we need to do is add our music credits. I'm going to add them on my video. You want to make sure to turn them in with the link of your video so we can give credit in the movie. When we add it on YouTube. But I'm just going to use basic titles here. I'm going to say audio from YouTube Audio Library, but YouTube Audio Library doesn't most want the credit. It's Netflix. I got to check for spelling. Songs, Addict, and Dreaming On. I want to credit them both. It's great to do it like this because then it's stamped on the video. 2 F's, 2 E's. And that way it won't get lost. Usually when they're asking for credit, they want you to put it in the description on the video. So you should get in the practice of doing it both places. I'm highlighting my text to change my text because I hate that font. I'm going down the list. Can we do that? We can, but we're going to need to make it smaller, which I can manage. And then I want to add what? I'm going to select, remember we did Command D for our default transition. I'm just going to add that on both sides. And let's see how that goes. Oh, I didn't fix the spelling. 2 F's. So now later, if I lose track and I don't remember what the audio was, I can look back. And it's there. So that's why it's good to do it when you're editing. I think that's great. I am ready to export. And that's how you edit music in Premiere.